Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to teach you about Ansible, which is a configuration management and application deployment tool. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Ansible will be absolutely clear to you. Ansible series is divided into multiple parts. Therefore, subscribe to the channel and follow the playlist for complete understanding. But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. You can join our all training programs globally through online platforms, and if you're looking for classroom workshop, then we have regular batches available in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
So in the last session, what we talked about it, like how to do the configuration management in the local machine. Okay, and then also we discuss about how the configuration management in the remote host. Now, how to do the next things is how to do the configuration management with a multiple remote host. That is also we did through let's say inventory. The challenges is here. Next problem is how to do configuration management in multiple hosts, but multiple tasks also. Okay, if you remember, see here, I was having the host, multiple host here in the inventory file, and here if I execute, then I was able to execute only one module at a time. Okay. So if I want to execute multiple module at a time, what I need to do? Okay, so for that, the solution is Playbook. Okay, solution is Playbook. So I'm going to first create a inventory file. So let's do that. Have the inventory file. So here vi inventory file, and in that I'm going to mention two IP address, which is here. So I'll create one group. Web, have the IP address, and other IP address. This is the inventory file. Now I'm going to have scripts that access also. So let's have access. So I'm going to have vi access.pem chmod 600.
Type up.
I got this.
Type up.
And I got this inventory. I got access dot file. Now I have three modules. You can see that here. If you look at this, I used to do three things. So here, file module, and then I used to do one more module, which was yum install and stuff like that. So let me copy one playbook examples. That will be faster. And this is a playbook. So what I'm going to do, playbook, 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 playbook. I'm looking for the playbook. Here it is. But I need something very simple. So I'm going to take it up. This one. So this is my playbook, and in this playbook I'm going to have this. So this is my playbook. Look at this. Here in this command line, I was able to execute multiple inventory at multiple server, but only one module. But this time I am going to put it at multiple module into one YAML file, and that we call it tasks. In playbook we have a call it tasks. So this is a one play, this is another play, this is another play, this is another play. These four are different play, and out of which this is a one task, this is another task, this is another task, this is another task. Okay, now if you look at this here, this is the YAML file. Okay, so you have to follow the YAML specification very strictly, so we have to do that. So if you look at this here, host, here what will come, so here it will come the group which you mention in the inventory. Okay, so my group name is web, I have to mention web here, and sudo yes tasks. How many tasks? 4 tasks, out of which what I'm doing here, the name of the task, which can be anything. Name of the task, it can be anything. Now here you put it anything. Now this is a module name, we call it tasks in playbook. This is the attributes. Remember, this is a module name, and this is the remainings are attributes. So same way you have to put the attributes, and then this is the condition. Do, so when is the way in which you can put the condition in the playbook. So this is the way you can put the condition, do this task only when if it is a Red Hat, and of course this is a Red Hat only, my server, like that you can put the condition. Now another task, if you see that name is this one, service and attributes. Same way here I am starting and enabling the Apache. Right now I'm just getting rid of the template stuff, and here I'm copying one file. Okay, see here, template src, copying one file, okay, from here to here. So this is also I'm getting rid of it. Okay, so I'm just don't want to complicate, the simple thing. This is the one. Now where do you see this thing? So each module, if you go Ansible module, let's say which one I'm trying, yeah, if you try this one, click on this one, and each module, so each module, if you go bottom section of the page, see here, a lot of examples you will see, and these examples, only one of the examples I have used it here. So look at this here, this is the name, and this is the module name, attributes. This is the name, this is the module name, attributes. This is the looping they have done. Okay, this is the looping. See, name, package name. From where? This is the loop. Okay, again, see here I've sent, present. So a lot of examples have been given. Okay, this is the one of the modules example. Like that, you will find all these 1,000 modules which you can see. Each of these you get the example, and accordingly you can push it. So here I put it. I'm creating this module. Okay, now I have to write playbook. So I'm going to EC2 hyphen user sudo hyphen s, and then here I'm going to write one vi web.yaml, and then store this information. Now I'm going to execute the command, this time not Ansible. The new command would be Ansible hyphen playbook. Okay, So command would be Ansible -playbook, and that is find this. Okay, it's not there, no problem. So I'm going to create it. So Ansible -playbook. Now, what is the inventory? Inventory here, and then what is your playbook? Playbook is web.yaml. What is the username? You, and it is what is that? EC2 user or something? Well, I'm copying this whole thing. Okay, so this will be command. So now I am putting multiple. I'm doing multiple hosts you have in inventory and multiple tasks in playbook you are executing. Now, see, this is the fingerprinting. So for that, I just Control C, and I will go and again modify etc. I should not modify, but I just always remind you there is a CFG. For this, you can do like you can known host you can modify. It's a admin work one at a time. You can do that. This is a good thing. But right now, I'm always reminding you there's a host file which has so many options. So this is a option which I enabled, and now I'm doing. So now if you look at this, both the machines, it seems not reachable. So unreachable. Why? What is the reason? It says permission denied. So why the permission denied? Because remote.pm is not there. Okay. See, the file name is access.pm. I kept it, not remote.pm. And now it is happening. So now it's been installing and starting the two modules, three modules all together, and it's been doing the things.
So if one of the tasks is actually succeeded, but the second one fails, it's not going to undo the first one, correct?
No, not undo. Okay. So now I just put this in browser, insert, and your things is running. So Playbook is the ultimate solutions which you have to do that. Now I'm going to introduce you variables in Playbooks. How can you put the variables in Playbook? So variables in the Playbook are variables you can keep it at different places. So many places you can keep it variable. Okay. So now there's a one of the way I'm going to talk about the variables. Let me talk about it. Variables which we start from here. I have a page. Just a second. So this is a good example for the variables. So now you can put the variables in the playbook in the different ways. Okay. Now one of the way you can put the variables like this. Look at this. Variables in the inventory file. Okay. So here, if you look at this, this is the look at the example. This is your group name. And in the group name, you have got the two variable, which is this one. And this is the value. This is a variable. This is a value. Now, this is the group name. Now, this is again group name. But here, this is your Helium and Neon. Okay, is your web server. Okay, so for that, here, this is the way you can declare the variable in the inventory file. Here, Helium is your
Helium the variable name, or the int event var is the, what is int event var? Is that the variable name?
no, See, this is a group name, okay, in the inventory file, and helium is your helium is your host name, IP address, okay, IP address. This is IP address or its host name. This is also IP address and host name, and this is the variable. This is the variable. For example, I have to go to the inventory file, and here this is my group name. This is my host name or IP address.
Yeah.
And here I can declare the variable. For example, this one. Okay, so invent underscore var, and the variable is helium underscore 123. So I declare this variable, saved it. Now, if I want to use it, then of course I can use it only through Playbook.
So you just updated the inventory file, right? With the variable name?
I'm just telling how can you declare the variable at the different ways.
Okay.
Okay, so now I will introduce you one of the module which can help you to print the variable, and that is this module, debug module. The name of the module is debug, and then this variable find underscore output will be a variable. So let me modify the code. Here, this is another module. This is a task. Here var, and the variable name was invent underscore var. So you can use any other places also. Here I just saved it and run. Now I have a 3 variables, and here if you see, okay, variables are not defined. Invent underscore var has been not taken. Why it has not taken? So if I see here, it is a correct behavior. If you look at my inventory, I define the variable, not this one. I define the variable for 217, not for 163. Okay, so what has happened? It has responded with this one, but not with this one. Okay, so this is the one of the method in which you can declare the variable, at the host only. Okay, is
So
that clear?
what is the debug command or the word doing? We understand that you define the variable in the inventory file. Got that. But in your other file in the web.yaml, what is that line? What is
So
that doing?
debug is one of the module which print on the console only. Okay, so that's the reason you got this output on console. Prints. Debug is just to print the message or variable on the console only. Hello.
Hello?
Ansible. Yeah, Ansible module for debug. See, this is the module. Print statement during execution. So whichever let's say you are troubleshooting, so you can execute some of the variables or any customized message on console. So you want to troubleshoot the large program into the small.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you quickly show me the inventory file?
Yeah.
This is not inventory file, right? Yeah. Okay. So in the debug, when the print comes, the print is giving the helium 123, or is it showing? Can you show the sysout? The sysout.
Playbook.
Not the playbook. The once you ran the command, okay, you got the helium 123. Okay.
See here, task debug, invent var, helium 123, where is the variable is not defined.
Yes.
So that is one of the way in which you can define the variables in the inventory file. Now let's say here that there was a problem. The problem was I was having the one I set it up the host file, but another host file I did not set it up. In order to avoid that, you can set it up like this. Okay, so this is a group name, and this is the vars you have to add it, and this is your variable name, this is your value. So basically this variable will be set for the client's web which has a 2 machine here. Okay. So this is also, it can be possible. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So
but your voice is it's not coming clear. It's breaking.
it's like a robot talking to someone actually.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Hello.
Is it better now?
Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
Okay. So the question I had was, so this is the variables that we are setting during the execution that we are passing in for what we want to watch. But is there a way we could get the variable back from the host? Like, let's say the user ID of the like the EC2 user that we are connecting in, right? So if I'm logging into the host and if I do ID, it will give me the user ID of that EC2 user. And is there a way I can get the variable back from the host back into my logic?
Yes. So I was coming back to that. So that is, we call it a fixed variable, so which cannot be changed. So the one which I am talking about is like a user variable, and there is a system variables which you cannot change, but you can use it. So for example, if you want to use a system variable, so let me show you that system variable. So go to this, go to this, and if you want to run the system variable, then run this command. User variable, system variable. In case of system variable, if you want to use there's one module called setup, which will display all the system variable, and in this case, this is the variable. You just run it. So I'm just finding out the system variable. Now, if you see that all these are system variables, okay, you cannot change that. Okay, you cannot change that. So, for example, I want to print one of the system variable, just grabbing it, grep OS, OS. And now, if you see that here, these are the system variables. Now, see here, Ansible BIOS date, host name. So here, let's say this is the variable which is a system variable. Now, if you want to print this variable, you have to modify the inventory file. Ansible underscore hostname, save it and run it. And now you see that this is the host name of this machine. This is the host name of this machine. So setup module.
What is the Ansible underscore host name? That's not a Unix Linux variable, right?
No.
Variable
So
that
that's what I
the
said.
Ansible system.
That's what I said. These are the system variable, and the system variables which you can, each system has certain variables which basically Ansible reads it and sets it, and anything which is a system variable that comes with the Ansible underscore with something. So whenever you say Ansible underscore, then you think that's your system variable. Just easy to identification between the user variable and system variable.
Hey, can you go back and rerun that command, please? I want to see if you can grep for like who am I command. Yeah,
You want to grep
rerun
user,
that. Yeah, grep for who am I.
but who am I?
No,
It will not come who am I, user.
why is that? But these are the no. See that's my question. That's what I'm trying to understand. Is so any
Variables,
command that
it's like this. Wait a second. This is the variables, not to run a command. If you want to run the command, you have to use the task. Variables means variables where you have a values. Now there's a two kind of variables which you have. One is always, one is the user variable which you define the value and variable. There's another kind of variable which systems also has certain variables which you
correct.
want to print it. So here who am I is not a variables, it is a user,
You're right.
this is a command. Yeah.
Correct. You're right. So let's see if I could get shell, shell.
What is that?
Shell.
shell, bin bash.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
this
how
is
we.
a so this is another way to set the variable. So I have discussed about how can you set the variable in inventory, but we have to discuss about how can you set the variables in the playbook. So let me set up one variables in the playbook. So now if you look at this part, okay, this part, uh, let me show you another one. This is the best one here. Now, how can you declare the variable in the playbook? So you have to go to the playbook.yaml, okay, and inside that here you have to introduce the vars. If you look at this here, I introduce the vars. YAML is very in terms of very concerned about this one. So here it should be two parts. So here space. So one and then here. So now here I have a one vars. You can add more vars here. The variable name is play bar. The value is play bar. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to tell variable name, pack name, and the value is httpd. And here I'm going to use variable. Here we're going to use variable like this. If you use the variable in the tasks, you have to use pack name. Okay. So now, and here also, I'm going to pack name, display the pack name. So instead of that httpd, which is hard coding things, you can do this one also. And there's something which has happened, the syntax problem. I told you there's some problem in the syntax, always you have to be very careful. And I think there's a problem here. I made it. Where's pack name space, one space should be here.
I think the task line should be after the vars. The task
Yeah.
line.
Here, this is a problem. So you have to do something like host all and whereas here it should come down. So let me do one thing because VI I am finding very difficult to modify. So here it will be better. Okay, so I think all are correct except I should just verify host var 2 space and then task it should be down. So task should be equal to host and it should be okay. So this should be okay now. And save it. Now rerun. Again that problem. Problem is 1, 2. This is the path. Space 1, 2. Save it. Okay. So now you see that this is the way you can use the variables in the inventory file also. Okay. So we have discussed about the two kind of variables, user variables, system variables. Variables you can define in the inventory file also, you can define in the playbook also, and this is how you can use it. Okay. So now.
So the same variable that we declared here for the HTTPD, whatever that you had in the YAML file, the exact same usage you could put it even in the inventory file as well, right? That
Yes,
same pack name. You could have declared a pack name variable in the inventory file also.
Yes, you can declare, but if you declare multiple times, there's a there's a precedence. So anything
Right.
which you declare at precedence. So there's a if you see that here, Ansible variables precedence. Okay, and it's a long table which you have to study. So variables can be declared many places, and the precedence will be followed as per this row. So here least precedence will be given to include, up precedence will be on the command line values. So you can pass the variables on the command line also.
Okay. Quick question on the variable. So what if, so we ran that command to get a value from a host, right? I think we ran the shell, right? There's some system variable. Now, is there a way that we could get, depending on the environment, I want to take a certain action. So in other words, if the shell is XYZ, then I want to run certain action. Is that possible? Because you're declaring a variable but not passing the value yet, because it's not a static value. Depending on each host, I may get a different value back, then I want to take a different action.
Yeah, that is possible. So you have to do the conditional programming. So in this conditional programming, let me show you something. Show you. Here, condition. So here, this is a one task, name task, do only when this is this one. So this task will be done only when this is this one. So you can set, do something here when your Ansible underscore XYZ that value is equal to this one.
No, but here you're still passing in static values. What I'm asking is, depending on what the response back comes from, see, that's what you're giving a static values here, right? Red Hat is a static value. I don't know what that distribution is. there could have been
Huh.
40 different versions, or whatever that value could have been.
Mhm.
So how do we do that? Like go to
Here,
the host,
here I'm
get the
giving the
value
static
back.
value, but you could have the user variables here also. When here I'm using the static variable, but you can use user variables also, right?
I can use user variables as well. Okay. So this is okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So now we could solve one more problem, having the multiple, what do you say, multiple hosts and multiple tasks. But now, what about multiple problems with next problem is problems with multiple playbook. What about if you have a multiple playbook itself, multiple playbook? Then how can you manage a playbook, multiple playbook, right? So for that, the answer is roles. Okay. So here we had a only one playbook. Sorry, we had a only multiple tasks. We put it in one playbook. So one playbook. And here now we are trying to put it in the multiple. We have a multiple playbook. So how can you solve it? So we'll have the solution from roles. So now the question is, what is a roles? So roles is one of the ways you can practice the multiple playbooks. Okay, so we can have a variables, roles, files which you consume during the run, and many things as well. So the question is, how can we create a roles? So let's create a roles first, and for the roles, the command is Ansible Galaxy. So let me get a command. It was here only. So here, this is the command.
Raj, before we go there, one question on this. So I think I know the answer, but I still wanted to kind of clarify this. So let's say you want to execute certain tasks, okay, on multiple hosts. Let's say there's only one playbook. You want to execute that on 2 hosts or 3 hosts. Now, could there be conditions set where do the installation on the second host only if the first host is complete? So in other words, let's say you're installing your web servers, and then you're installing your database servers, and you're installing your, let's say, your app servers. Now, I don't want to install my app servers unless I know that my database server installation is all completely fine. Is there a way we could put in that same playbook? So in the database server, I'm installing, let's say, MySQL. In the web server, I'm installing HTTPD. But I don't want to install the HTTPD step and on the web servers, any task, until I know that my task in the DB section is completely installed.
Yeah. So basically, what you are there's a inventory file. Okay. And in the inventory file, there's a 2 group, one for the web, one for the database server. But you want the one group to be completed first, and then if succeeded, then go ahead with the second group. Right?
Correct. Right.
Yeah. So this can be done. See, manual way, what you can do, you can execute 2 times, one at a time, one database server and one web server. But that's not the way we should go further. Second way, like, is there any way where we can put some conditions and stuff like that? I'm thinking what should be done.
Because I'm thinking if I'm installing a big, cluster, right? Whatever that could be, some big data cluster, right? So I don't want to do any of the installations on my other components until my master components are completely installed and up and running and everything. Then I want to install or do any of the actions. First, I want to make sure that there's a dependency.
Yeah. On group.
I mean, you don't have to answer now. If you can get back
And
to
I'm
us
just
with the
thinking.
details, that's fine too.
After one group seated. Okay, I'll just, can you do one thing? Can you post me these questions? I'll be having my mail and I'll respond to you by evening or something.
Sure, no problem. I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the next problem which you are solving. What about you have a multiple playbook? And multiple playbook, it can be solved using rules. So roles is a way in which you can put it the multiple playbooks together. You can have a variables also. You can have the files which you use for the deployment. Let's say your packages which you want to deploy from the one place to multiple machines. So you can have in the roles many things. The question is how can you create a roles? So first thing I'm going to create a skeleton. So this command will create a skeleton Ansible -galaxy and init and rajesh.role1 and offline. Let me tell you, if you do not use this one, the roles will be created, will be trying to create on the Galaxy, Ansible Galaxy, which I'm going to talk about in some time. So now I'm going to create this role. Now roles has been created. This is the directory. And if you want to know what exactly the skeleton of this directory, so you have to go inside that and then I need a yum tree install. And now I will just write a tree. You see that this is the skeleton what you have. Okay, so you need to understand this skeleton. So for this skeleton to understand understand that defaults will be having variables, and any variables which you want to set defaults here. Now here also it will come the variables main.yaml. So what is the difference between default and var? So any variable which you want to set it up here or here, it's okay. But if something which is not set, any variable which is not set, it will try to get it from the default. But this variables will be having the highest precedence. So these two places you can have a variables. Now if you want to use for the deployment, if you want to use some files, some script or some packages, you can keep it in the files directly and you can use it. Now here the most important one is tasks. Okay, most important task is the place where you can keep your task of playbook. Okay, here you can keep it templates. Here metadata about the role. This is having the information about the rules like name of the rules, dependencies of the rules, and stuff like that. And here, if you are writing a test case to test your playbook, then this is the place you can store it. So this is the typical skeleton of it. Now I created this role. Okay.
Now, what is
Rajesh.
tree? Is tree a very specific Ansible package or command, or is it more of a Unix system command?
This one?
Yeah.
This is Linux command actually, tools.
This is a Linux command, right? Okay. Yeah.
So this is the skeleton of your Ansible role. Now here, all this thing you can see that the most important part of the Ansible is tasks. Here that is where the main.yaml is there, and that is where the task would go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you one place where you can download free Ansible roles as many you want it, and the place name is Ansible roles. So basically, yes, if you know that how Ansible works, many times you don't have to write the Ansible rules from scratch, because thousands of Ansible rule has been written by different developer around the globe and contributed at this place. This is called Ansible Galaxy. And here you can search the Ansible rules depends on your use cases scenario. Three categories are there: system, development, networking, cloud, database monitoring, packaging, and all. And then you can use it. Okay. So how can you download this? See, this is a Java role. That means this package will be installing the Java in your system, in your multiple system. Now, how can you download this role? Simple, run this command and you get this role automatically downloaded. For example, I'm just running this command and the rules will be downloaded by default in a directory which is .ansible here. So you see that here / root .ansible rules. So this is the place where it got downloaded, and you can go and check. It has the same skeleton. You see task, meta, defaults, templates, where the same skeleton. So yes, you can use the other roles also, but here we are creating my own role. So now I have created one role. Now the time has come to fill the tasks. So I have a tasks already ready here. So now let me go and copy the web.yaml. In this web.yaml, I'm going to put this here and copy the content of the web.yaml, and then I'll go to role, go to the tasks, and here main.yaml, and here all the tasks will be there. Let me tell you here again, I'm reminding you, be noticed here in this web.yaml, in the roles, you are not going to give all the specification. Okay, understand that. You are not going to give this all the specification, only this one. Okay, so I'm just putting up only the tasks, nothing else. So here,
so where would those things will go? Those things will go in meta, the host, sudo, and
no, this information you'll go to the file which you are using for calling roles. I'll talk about it. Just give me time. So in the roles you will have only tasks. Okay. Okay. So here I pasted all the tasks, saved it. So my role is ready now. Now this variables will go. This variable will go into the variables. So for example, where is a variable? Go back, cd vars, and here bi main.yaml, and here you will go, the variables will go here. So I put the variables also at the right place, tasks also at the right place. The task, all the task has gone, variables, all the variables is gone. Now I go back. Here I will create one file which will call these roles and web. So that you can name it maybe vi site.yaml. Okay, site.yaml. And in this you are going to call the roles. So let me copy paste the content. So it's not there. Okay, no problem. I want to copy all the time. The reason is very simple. If you type, if you do the spelling mistakes, one space also, it is a problem. So here, this will be the content of your roles. Look at this. Include here, not this. Here, host web rules. The name of the rule is this one. And I have only one rule, but you can have another rule also if you want. And this is my program, vi site.yaml. Saved it. Done. And now, instead of calling the playbook, now you will call the rule. And for that, the command is, just a second. Command is, I lost
If we
this
run
command
tree,
also.
if we run the tree command, will all those all the things that we have overwritten, will it
Just
show
a
over
second.
there?
Hold
All
on.
the things?
Playbook. Playbook site.yaml. Access and this one. So now I'm running the command which will call the roles. So now everything you have it. Here you have a site.yaml which will call this role. This role will call the task, and then like this. So copy, paste, enter. Now there's some spelling mistake has happened, and which is in the tasks. See, there's some problem here. So I have to modify vi, and what could be the problem? One space, two space. I have to correct this. In just a second.
Can you check the error message one more time?
It's a syntax error actually. Okay, so task should not be that. That's the problem. Just you live with this one because anyway it's a task. The task will not be that. Now I run it, and then so this is the way. Okay, and there's an inventory file which is missing actually. Inventory, and now there is a problem. What is the problem?
Why do you have to give the inventory file? Because you've already mentioned. Oh, because this doesn't know. Okay, yeah.
So this is the inventory file which is Ansible. There's a issues actually. It got failed because some variable is not defined. So in the main.yaml, if I look at this, act name. So I'm looking for that some. What is a variable is not defined?
It's talking about the Ansible OS family.
Okay, so this is a good observation if you look at this. So I told you one thing. So Ansible OS family is inbuilt variable. Okay, inbuilt variable, and it should be there, but now it's suddenly become a not defined. So how come it become a not defined? So there's a one setting I have which by mistake I enabled it, and it's a good actually. You got to know. If I go to the site.yaml, here gathering facts, I said no.
Yeah.
That means this I disabled it. So the gathering facts is a method in which all before running the task, it will run and gather all the statistics about the system variable, in which I disabled it, so it could not initiate that. And just because of that, that variable it could not be used. It. So I made it yes to no. I can default is yes always. Okay, so I don't have to specify, and then now it got completed. Okay, so far we discussed about many things, many scenarios. Let me recap the things. Okay, many things.
So,
First thing,
Raj, the question: if we run the tree command now in the directory, would we get all uh, the definitions that we filled in each, like the site.xml, that is the tasks? Will we get everything in the tree command now?
sorry, I could not understand your question.
No, when we started without, when the rows was having empty, there was nothing over there. When we ran the tree, when the skeleton came, there was nothing over there, right? In the defaults, in the tasks. But now we
Right.
filled all the details. If we run the tree again, what would we get? If you run the tree
Same
command,
like this if that is already done, so it will not try to do any changes. If you have some changes, then only those changes will be made. It's like this. That's called Ansible. So let's say it's understand that here you have a one task, two tasks, three tasks. In the first run, you run and it will execute three tasks. Now suddenly you execute, in the second execute, you change only three. So only three will run here. Okay.
yeah.
That is only the changed will be run here. Let's say next time you added four tasks. So here in the third execution, remaining three will not be run, but fourth will be run.
Right. My question is not that. When we started our go, if you can go back to the Linux shell, if you run the
Just run the tree command. Just
tree
run
command.
the tree command.
Which command?
Not that one. Tree command. Tree. 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 The Linux command.
Okay, tree command. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now we see the site.xml, site.yaml. These were all not there before. Under the Rajesh.role one. Yeah, these things were not there, right? When we started, we were just looking at
Which one?
Site.retry, site.yaml.
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so any failed attempt in Ansible, they will hit the right URL, I mean IP address of the failed host here. Any failed attempt.
Okay, site.retry.
Any failed attempt, it will put it the IP address here. Failed attempt. If it is succeeded, no problem. But only failed host, you can see that here. Site.retry. Okay, guys. So now, which we have talked about all the development stuff. You know, the objective to have you on Ansible to become a developer first, programmer first, and with these roles, you become a programmer. You know how to play with ad hoc commands, and you know how to write a playbook. You know how to write the rules and use that. So now what I did, I created my rules and I used it, and it got succeeded. Now the time has come when you want to use the and you want to do the administration things, like you have a rule and which you want to implement to the multiple machine, but not through command line, though you can do that, and I was able to do that. But that is where I will go with the Ansible tower. Okay, Ansible tower. And this is the, see, I told you this is the paid service, Ansible tower. is a paid service, paid product. So anything, if you want to do free, then you can continue with my last command after the role. You keep doing this one site.yaml, and this command you execute. Multiple roles will be there inside that, and you can execute as you want it, and things will be going as forward. But here you will run, and only you can see the view and output. But if you use the Ansible tower, all of your team can see the output, and also same time notification, logging, reportings, metrics, everything can be shared with the whole team. So Ansible tower is the one which is a solution for everyone. So we will try Ansible tower in the next session. And meanwhile, what I am going to ask you for it, I have a hell lot of example on my GitHub handler, which is here. All this now you have to play with the playbook, with the different scenarios. Okay. So here, if you search the Ansible, this is the one. Okay. In this, you have at least 2,000 programs are there altogether in this URL, which is on the DevOps school.github. So you can try it out, and the next sessions will have a Ansible tower, and then we'll continue. Okay. Any other questions?
We're good. We're good.
Okay, guys. So I have to leave now. I have to rush to the office now. I'll see you on the next class. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.